Welcome to the Parsha Perspective. Each week, we will delve deep in a weekly Torah portion to find a practical and insightful way to enhance your daily life. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Rabbi Shalom Yemini, and each week we will look into the weekly Torah portion to find practical and insightful ways to enhance your daily life. This week's Parsha Perspective is in honor of our homeland, the Eretz Yisroel. May Kadosh Baruch Hu, may God protect our brave soldiers, and may God return all the hostages from Gaza immediately. This week's Parsha Perspective is in honor of the Refuah Shlema, the complete and speedy recovery of HaRav Amitai, Ben Shoshanna, and all those who need to experience a speedy and complete recovery. This week's Parsha Perspective is in loving memory of Edward Ben Efraim, Shlomo Ben Edward, and Yirachmiel Daniel Ben Gedalia. May their souls be uplifted and may their memories be a blessing. This week's Torah portion is Parshas Chukas, purity and purpose. Our Parsha begins with Moshe Rabbeinu teaching the intricate laws of Parah Adumah, the Red Heifer. The Parah Adumah is a red cow that was never used and is slaughtered as an offering as a korban, and then it is burnt and its ashes used to rectify the most severe of ritual impurities, Tum'as Mes, an impurity contracted through interacting with a human corpse. When a person touches a human corpse, they become tamei and must use the Parah Adumah. They become ritually impure and must use the Parah Adumah ritual to become pure once again. This process takes 7 days, and they must be sprinkled with its ashes and the water on the 3rd and 7th day, and on the evening after the 7th day, they become pure once again. However, a question comes to mind. Before concluding the laws of the Parah Adumah, the Torah mentions that impurity can travel. The pasuk states, "Zois teras adam ki yamus ba'oil, kol haba ela oil, v'chol asher ba'oil yitame shivas yamim." This is the law for when a person passes away in a tent. Whoever enters the tent and whatever is in the tent shall be impure for 7 days. But why does the Torah use the term oil, tent, rather than bayis, a home? Last week's Parsha concludes with laws about purity and states, "Bikurei kol asher ba'artzachem asher yaviu laHashem yiu lachem kol tar beveisecha." The first fruits of everything in their land they shall bring to God, they shall be yours, and all those who are pure in your home may eat them. So why did the Torah switch the words and now use the term oil, tent, when discussing the impurity of Tum'as Mes from touching a human corpse? The Ibn Ezra, Rav Avram Ben Meir Ibn Ezra, gives a simple explanation. He answers that a tent and a home are identical, are equal in the eyes of Jewish law. The unique laws of Tumah and Tara, purity and impurity, apply in a home just as they do in a tent, in oil. According to the Ibn Ezra, the Torah changes its wording as the nation was living in tents during that time, and therefore the Torah uses the term oil, which means tent, rather than a permanent home, which would be bayis. Interestingly, our Parsha skips many years and discusses events at the end of the 38th year of the 40-year exile in the desert. Just 2 weeks ago in Parshas Shlach, we read about the exile of the Jewish people to 40 years of wandering in the desert. And our Torah portion picks up at the end of the 38th year as the nation was ready to enter into the Promised Land. However, the Aruch HaMakadosh, Rav Chaim Ben Attar, a Moroccan commentary and Kabbalist, gives a deeper and more profound explanation. He writes that it is not self-evident that a tent and a home have the same category according to Jewish law. One is permanent. One is built to withstand many different climates, many different weather conditions. On the other hand, a tent is temporary. It's built not to endure or last more than just a short period of time. The Aruch HaMakadosh explains that we learn from here that a tent and a home are equal according to Jewish law, but then he quotes the Sifri, the Medrash Sifri on our pasuk, that describes our entire universe, our world, as a tent. Temporary, brief, and transitory. Unlike a house which is permanent, durable, and strong until the ultimate redemption, says the Sifri, our world is fleeting at best. Yet our task remains to build an everlasting, to build a permanent home for God here on this earth. The dichotomy of our mission, the duality of our purpose here on earth is represented within this pasuk. Until death is removed from this world with the ultimate redemption speedily in our days, whatever is in this world, whatever is coming to this world has an element of impurity, an inherent degree of separation from the ultimate life source, the creator, the master of the universe, our Father in heaven. However, with the Parah Adumah, a process we don't understand, we remove the impurity and become holy once again. We can turn temporary structures into a permanent home for God, making our world His revealed dwelling place once again. In our daily life, we must open up our eyes to the many forces trying to divide, trying to break up our nation. They try to tell us to look at our externalities and forget what truly connects us. They emphasize our differences and ignore what ties us together, our godly soul. God requires us to envelop ourselves in His process, study His wisdom, seek His perspective as He reveals Himself to mankind. Interestingly, God demands the same from us as He did from the Jewish nation in the desert, to recognize that we are truly one and proclaim His oneness to the entire world. There's a profound quote by Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sachs of blessed memory. God is God whatever we do or fail to do. But God, having set His image on every human being, took the risk of identifying His presence in history with one small people, whom He made a covenant lonely long ago in the desert, and the fact that He has charged Jewish existence with immense responsibility ever and ever, and therefore we are God's witnesses to this world. Have a great weekend and good Shabbos. Thank you for tuning in to the Parsha Perspective. Check out our website, theparshaperspective.com. Send thoughts and comments to theparshaperspective@gmail.com. Till next time, thanks for listening.